My name is Doug Rawson. I'm a redneck from Reno, Nevada, here in the United States. And I use PocketSmith for two primary purposes. One, managing my personal expenses and monies, and the other is for running my business as well. So we use it mostly for forecasting. I'm not a big budget guy. I'm not going to set a budget of how much are we going to spend on dining and how much are we going to spend for the movies and this and that. But I love to know where my money's gone and forecast where it's going to go. So I guess you could say we're using budgets. We have software as a service. So we forecast out our subscriptions so we know when the money's going to be coming in. Now that we know when the money's coming in, then we can start to forecast, well, how much can we spend on marketing? What do we think we're going to be spending on marketing? And is it going to go well? And we can go in and run different scenarios of, well, we're going to launch a new campaign. What do we think that's going to generate for new revenues? And see what that does to us versus what it's going to cost. Now, we've never been right, but at least we had an idea of where we were going to go. And we were chatting earlier, we went through some struggles as we were trying to switch platforms. And we've spent a lot of money and things got really, really tight. If I didn't have PocketSmith to see exactly where we were and where we were going to be 6 months or so down the road, I wouldn't have been able to sleep at night. I don't know how anybody understands where they're going to be without a tool like PocketSmith to see where things can get to. I know what revenue I'm bringing home. I know what our basic expenses are. And then we do some planning for our vacations and things like that. So I guess we do some budgeting, but mostly we just say, we're going to spend $3,500 in December because we're going to go take this trip, but we see it and we see what that does to our cash flow. And then we know, well, is that going to work? Do we need to do something different? What adjustments do we need to make? And another place where it came in real handy just recently, well, it's been within the last 2 years, is my mother has dementia, and we had to put her in assisted living. Fortunately, I was being the good son years ago, and I bought long-term care insurance. But it took over 6 months before they started kicking into pay. So there were thousands of dollars coming out of pocket, and it really tightened up the belt a lot. I'll just put it that way. It made things really skimpy around the house. And so now it's by having the funds in and being tracked in PocketSmith, I knew where I was going to be every month, every week. And sometimes it was, oh, let's pull a little extra out of the business because I need it at home. Now we've got it at home, so now we can put it back. And we went through that. Now, once we got past that little 6-month hurdle, life's good now. But those things, I don't know what I would do without it. I love being able to see where I'm going to be, forecasting what my savings are going to be, what's the growth going to look like, and being able to put in different scenarios. And as I said, I'm never right, but I always have a good path and I kind of know where I'm headed. And I had a young business when the 2009 crash hit. And we had our big real estate bubble burst here in the United States. And, and that rippled all the way around the world because it's such a large economy. Our subscription base, now we sell software to architects and engineers. They're only in business when construction's going on. Construction came to a stop. There were some states that there was up to a 50% unemployment rate amongst our market segment. Our subscription base fell 50% that year. One great example, there was a firm that had about 18 employees, and they were asking me, hey, do you know any structural engineers? We're hiring. We need to get more. And this was about 2007 or so. They went down to 1 employee during that downturn. Your money off of the number of users using your software, and something like that hits, it is so critical to be able to see where your cash flow is going to be and what you got to start cutting and what you need to cut quickly. I watched a lot of firms get into trouble because they didn't want to lay people off, but they also didn't have a forecasting tool. And they couldn't see where it was going to go. And well, it's going to turn around tomorrow. It's going to turn around tomorrow. It's going to change. And they ended up taking out a second mortgage on their house and depleting their savings. And they really put their companies into a bad place by doing it, because it put them into a lot of debt. So having that, even as we've gone through this bit of a recession that we're having right now, and the inflation that we're seeing and seeing prices go up, I would just went in, it was about 6 weeks ago, and reviewed, what we're spending at home. And all of a sudden I had to increase how much I thought we were going to spend on groceries every month. I had to increase several different things. Having this tool lets me see, well, what does that mean 6 months down the road? And the most critical piece to this, I guess, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier, it's tied into all my bank accounts. It knows, as of today, exactly what my balance is. And it gives me an accurate history of where I've been. So I can run a quick report, see where I've been. I know this is what we're spending on a monthly basis. Boom, that goes into my forecast going forward. So as you can probably tell, anybody that's watching this video, I'm a big fan of PocketSmith, but I want you to know there's no financial ties. I don't own any of the company. I'm just a guy who loves using it because I know what it's done for me, and I know the stress that it's taken off of my plate when I've had those weeks or days or whatever when things were tight and tough. But I also had the times when things are bright and shiny, and it's like, wow, 3 more months, we're going to take big draws out of the company and go do something with it, right? So that's nice.